Colorado day.
Well, if we can look just under the surface of the water, the sockeye salmon are swimming resolutely south to spawn in those sparkling waters of the Cedar River. They look up, 6 screaming propellers ripping the surface of the lake, and they say, what in the hell's going on? And we say, welcome home, sockeyes. You've had a long swim out there in the Pacific, but you've made it. You're just in time for the final heat of the Albert Lee Cup at Seafair.
Thank you, Patrick. From the inside, Oh Boy Oberto, Spirit of Cutter, Graham Trucking, Albert Lee, Formula Boats, Delays Kettle Cooked, and the trailer, the U-37 Peters and May. Here they come to the line, a little bit fast, a little bit early. Could be a bit of a problem. Oh, that was a shaver. Across the line, though, if it was a good start, the Graham Trucking had a perfect start. They come zipping down into that lower corner, and Chip, you've got them.
Graham Trucking with J. Michael Kelly once again shows what a great talent he is as a driver, but look at Oberto. Dave Villwock is going to have to use all the power that boat has, and it looks to me like Oh Boy Oberto might be stretching it out.
Those parallel rollers are tough on all of those boats up the back chute, but the Oh Boy Oberto has got the lead now on the outside. There you see the Spirit of Cutter just leaping over those high rollers at the apex of that corner, trying somehow or other to catch the Oh Boy Oberto. It's going to be a closer race than I thought it would be at the start-finish line, but the Cutter is starting to move up now, and I'd say about 2 boat lengths, Pat, is all that separates them.
144.633 miles an hour in the first lap.
Into the corner, the Cutter looks a bit ragged as it comes awfully close to the Oh Boy Oberto.
That really is going to help. They lost a lot of momentum there. This is a race of momentum. These boats weigh 6,000 pounds. If you slow them down, it's hard to get them going again. Dave, I think, made a mistake trying to pinch the Oberto in tight. He hit some bad water, but that boat is so fast, he's right back at him again.
He is indeed right back at him, but this time he is going to be, he's really leaping. He's having to work awfully hard on the outside there, and that water is rough up in the north turn as they come around the corner. The Oh Boy Oberto has a bit more of a lead at the end of the second lap than he did at the end of the first. But here comes Dave Villwock. His bow is as high as it could possibly be without blowing over as they come across the line.
142.848 the second lap. Great speed.
Down into that lower corner, you got him, Chip.
This is going to be really disappointing for Dave. I think he really thought that he had the boat speed to do it from the outside. He may very well have that boat speed, but right now I think he's in big trouble.
And remember, we're going 5 times around, and we've just finished 2.5 of those times, so this is a lot of racing left to go. Right now, Oh Boy Oberto has things going its way. Steve David out front, but once again, up there in that upper corner, carrying a lot of boat speed through that turn. It is Dave Villwock in the Spirit of Cutter, but he is further behind this time. He has lost ground to the Oh Boy Oberto on this third lap, and Steve David knows it. The radio men telling him this time he's making his charge, but he's coming from greater distance behind. Oberto is still in the lead at the end of 3.
But let's go back to that second heat when Oberto beat Villwock. That gave him the inside lane. That's made all the difference. There's no question that the Cutter boat is faster, but Dave just can't get at him to go by him.
On that last lap, the Cutter was a mile an hour faster than the Oberto, making up a little bit of space. Oberto at 141 and the Cutter at 142.
Steve David has got some terrific speed up that back chute, and it appears that Dave Villwock is doing everything but keeping right side up practically to try to catch him, and it's going to be very, very difficult for him to do it. We're coming down to end lap number 4. Steve David still has the lead, but Dave Villwock is not going to let go, not at all. Here he comes on the outside by about 2/3 of a rooster tail. The Oh Boy Oberto goes across the line one more time around now for the 2 leaders.
143 miles an hour to 140 for Villwock on that one, and this is it.
I tell you what, this is one heck of a boat race. Both of them have got to find smooth water. They're searching for smooth water to keep that propeller hooked up. It's going to be very close, my friends. Very, very close.
Peters and May gets wide to the outside to get out of the way as they come. This time Dave is making his move. This is his last opportunity. He lost the Columbia Cup in this corner. He's going to try to win the Albert Lee Cup in this upper corner on the last time around. And now here we have Steve David out in the lead, and it does not look like there's going to be sufficient time for the Qatar to catch up. He's trying, but it's going to be the Oh Boy Oberto wins the Albert Lee Cup at Seafair.
Holy smokes, what a race that was. I have great admiration for both drivers. You know, that second heat was everything. That gave Steve David that inside lane. That's what won him the race.
Listen to these speeds in the final lap of the race. It was the Alberta with 144.311 and the Spirit of Cutter 144.459. It was just an eyelash between them. What a battle. What a final heat of the Alfred Lee Cup at Seafair.
Absolutely. Everybody was getting loose, but I got to tell you, the Spirit of Cutter was really getting loose. I mean, David had it out on the ragged edge trying to catch the Alberta.
That was a great driving job by Dave Villwock. He did everything he could do. He really pushed that boat. There's nothing more he could do. He swung everything he had at him. It just from the outside, he couldn't do it. I think he made one mistake when he tried to pinch him in there tight. I think it was the first corner of the second lap. It didn't work for him. He lost a bunch of momentum. I think if he would have maintained his momentum through that corner, just ignored Steve, he probably would have won this race.
Can anybody question that the city of Madison, Indiana, that a crew chief named Mike Hansen, that a driver named Steve David, and an owner named Bob Hughes, and a sponsor named Alberto has their act together?